Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pacharane Nivasesha Sunyavadi Vashatyade Satarane Om Gyanatamilandasya Juna Juna Salakaya Saksu Samilitan Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Site Tanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Pandantikam Vanshakapatu Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitaram Pabhinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Prabhu, I left the Chaitanya Charitamrita in my room. Could you bring it to me? Let me check. No, I have it. Excuse me. Prabhu, I have it. Hare Krishna. How was your chanting of Japa this morning? Raise your hand if you'd like to say. Yes, Prabhu.
I was trying to focus. Like, as it was said, just focus on the one word. So, I was trying to focus today only on one word, Hare. So, that practice I did today whole morning.
So, how was your Japa this morning?
I felt very happy after that.
Anyone else like to say how their Japa was this morning? Yes.
It was comparatively better. Usually, I used to wait. Okay, these many rounds I have to complete in 2 hours. I used to keep target and then quickly, in case if I doze off in between. But today I was trying to focus at least one mantra at a time.
Not at a time, just one mantra. Because as soon as you say at a time, you're already thinking of the next mantra and the next mantra and the next mantra. But just let me just hear the mantra that I'm chanting right now. That's the idea. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Who else would like to say how their chanting was? Matajis are very shy so far. Yes. This morning.
Yes, Prabhu. So I was trying to remind myself what you reminded us yesterday during our chanting sessions, those 2 sessions, that even if we chant, even if we hear one mantra, even if we're able to hear one mantra starting from Hare, then we are very fortunate.
Do you believe that?
Not completely, but
Why?
At least I'm trying to fake it.
How was your chanting this morning?
It was better since I was trying to focus on that.
And do you feel more happy today?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
Did your chanting make you more happy this morning?
Yes.
Because it's connecting with Krishna. Yoga means to connect. So chanting Krishna's names, we connect with Krishna if we are conscious of Him. Even if we're not conscious, we benefit. But if we're consciously trying to get closer to Him by being with Him, He appreciates. He's a person. This is so important to understand, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What does it mean to be a person? Raise your hand if you would like to answer this question. Yes? Person has feelings. Thank you. Likes and dislikes.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead always gives the love, the reciprocations.
But what does it mean to be a person?
The one who reciprocates.
Reciprocates. Yes, very nice. Anyone? Yes.
He also has a form.
Definitely, yes, as a form. Is it? What does it mean to? Okay. Always? Does all persons understand you? Do
No,
all-
but Krishna understands.
Okay. Because usually people think no one understands me. But Krishna understands us. So a person is all the things that you had mentioned, but what does it mean to be an impersonal? Because there's so much preaching that the absolute truth is impersonal. What does it mean? No form, no qualities, nirgun, no feelings, no reciprocation. Can an impersonal reciprocate? Why? It's like talking. When I was a young boy, and I was maybe naughty, and I wouldn't listen to my mother, and she sometimes would say, "Don't tell anyone." She would say, "Talking to you is like talking to the wall." Because the wall doesn't reciprocate, because it's not a person, it's a person that can reciprocate. So, can you pray to the impersonal? No. You can, but you won't get any reciprocation. Because if it would reciprocate, that would mean it has a quality, the ability to reciprocate. And impersonal means nirgun, no qualities. What do you think? No, behind. No, still further behind. Yeah, what do you think? Can you have a relationship with something impersonal? No. Okay, explain how it's theoretically impossible. Possible. Affirmation. Yeah. So what's okay?
General people, they just try to tell themselves, okay, I'm a happy person, I'm a nice person, I'm a kind person, or let's say I'm a better person, I'm number one in this, or whatever. So they just keep trying to tell this to themselves, and they say that by saying or giving these affirmations to ourselves, we are actually attracting that idea. So from their perspective, it's kind of impersonal. So
okay. We're attracting it.
From nature, they call it.
From
the universe.
Yeah. So the universe has a personality? According to us, yes. But according to them, it doesn't have a personality. But it has a quality that whatever you want, it will give you? Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
But if it has a quality, one quality, maybe it has other qualities too. And where did the universe come from? Well, of course, this is a meeting of devotees of Krishna. So, but where do they say it comes from? Huh? Big Bang. And then you should try it and build a house like that with a Big Bang. Will it come out with order and with rooms and doorknobs? When I was in the elevator, just now, the lift right now, I saw that, has anyone noticed this? The first floor, number 1, is upside down. Did you notice that? So what do you learn from that? Huh? No, that the number 1 is upside down. What do you learn from that? That the person who put the button in It was a mistake. But as a person, because when there's disorder amongst, and so much order, and then there's disorder, you can see it's a mistake. So if it's all disorder, who would create something all disorder? I mean, say if I was creating the universe, one day the sun would rise at 7 o'clock at night, one day it would rise at 4 o'clock in the morning, one day 2 o'clock, and if I was in a bad mood, it wouldn't come up at all, and you would all be cold. But when there's order, that implies an orderer, someone behind it. And does it take intelligence to keep something orderly, to make something orderly? What do you study?
I'm a software engineer.
Okay. So you write programs?
Yeah, I'm a manual tester.
Eh?
Manual tester. I'm testing an application.
Okay.
To find out the defects.
To find out the defects. So imperfect intelligence, they're programmed imperfectly, and you have to find out with your intelligence the mistakes.
Yes.
But there has to be intelligence for there to be order. And that intelligence, to have something so orderly, has to be so intelligent and so perfect. Not like the programmers that you're checking. And your job is, because we usually say don't be a fault finder, but your job is, your seva is to be fault finder.
I'm a big fault finder of myself.
Just don't carry that professional qualification into devotees' dealings. Just imagine if see, we say here you should see the good, you should see the devotion. Just imagine if you did that with the software projects. Oh, he's tried so hard. He's got 90% correct.
No, it never
doesn't
happens.
work. 90% correct means 10% disaster.
Even 1% of anything comes up, that would create a big problem.
Yes. So how about this world? So who is that great, and who is checking? Who is the one who checking that everything is programmed properly in this world? There's no need. Lord Brahma does it so well because he's empowered by Krishna. Professional fault finder. That's good. Oh, yes. So how was your chanting this morning, by the way?
Prabhuji, earlier I used to do a targeting japa, but when I started reading, when I started listening the importance of the japa, so I'm focusing that, am I focusing on the mantra or not properly?
And how was your japa this morning? Would you consider your japa better this morning than usual?
Yes.
Because you tried to be conscious of what you were doing, being with Krishna in the form of his holy names.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. What do you think? Yeah.
So, my japa is better today, was better today, because...
What does that mean when you say it was better today?
Because I was chanting along with, I kept the Srila Prabhupada chanting, and I was chanting along with that.
Yes.
And also I made sure that I am not skipping any beats in between. So I was doing it properly and alertness.
And you were alert. Alert to what?
Alert to the, when I am chanting.
The sound.
Sound, and also how I am, whether I am doing properly or not chanting. Number of mantras.
Was your chanting improved this morning?
Yes, it improved.
Good. Just imagine if we could steadily improve our japa. It would be so wonderful. It would help so much in our life, our devotional life, because we'd learn how to focus the mind on Krishna. And how about if you did your service, your work, as service to Krishna, and you were able to think about that as you would fault finding, but about your work, your service. Imagine if you were able to think of Krishna while you were doing that, and how wonderful Krishna is, and that you are doing this in His service. How would it be different? This is a real question. How many of you have jobs? Okay, so many. If you could do your job for Krishna, is that possible for you? In His service. And then your whole life, your chanting would all be focused in pleasing Krishna. That would be amazing. But one has to be conscious, and the root, the foundation of the ability to do that is Japa, sadhana, basically sadhana, but especially Japa. What do you think? What do you think, oh Brahmachari? Because it's not easy. Say if you're living in the temple and serving, or you're working, of course it's more difficult when you have an outside job, because the surroundings and the things you do aren't directly connected to Krishna. You have to make the endeavor to find the connection between what you're doing and Krishna. But when you're in the temple, it's easier, because everything you do is more or less directly connected to Krishna and Krishna's service. So that's what we want to do with our lives. Somehow connect all that we do to Krishna. Now there's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna explains this. Who knows the verse that I'm thinking of? Yes. So that all that you, and please say the English translation. Can you say that in Hindi? Can someone say that verse in Hindi? Yes.
So Krishna says like
That sounded like English.
sorry
Even I could.
sorry कृष्ण भगवान कहते हैं कि आप जो भी अपने कर्म करो वो मुझको अपनी स्मृति में रख के करो, इस प्रकार तुम मुझे प्राप्त करोगे.
Good translation. Not correct. Okay. Don't mind.
भगवान कहते हैं कि हे कौन्ते, हे अर्जुन, जो भी तुम खाते हो, जो भी अर्पण करते हो, जो भी दान देते हो, वो सब मेरे लिए करो.
Is that okay?
Sorry Prabhu, I cannot verify.
Was that okay? Yes. Anyone can say it in Telugu? Or you want to read the Hindi translation?
So Krishna is saying like तुम जो भी करते हो, जो भी खाते हो, जो भी चढ़ाते हो या दान करते हो, और जो भी तपस्या करते हो, हे कुंती पुत्र, वह सब मुझे अर्पण करके करो.
Hey Kunti Putra. So beautiful, yes? Oh, son of Krishna the person is talking to another person, Arjuna, saying it so sweetly. He's giving advice. Now, please take out your beads. Thank you. And thank you. And also thank you. Take out your beads, please. And now we will chant some japa, but think in advance of how you want to chant and what principles you'd like to apply. And chant for Krishna's pleasure. How to chant for Krishna's pleasure? With devotion, or be conscious that you're dealing with Krishna and His holy names. Try to be here. You can start with Hare Krishna, and start with Hare and then Hare Rama. If you hear Hare, those two Haris, it's so much easier. And if you don't worry. Just try in the next mantra. And then after deciding how you would like to chant at this time, then you please pray for the strength and the sincerity to be able to do it. How do you say sincerity in Hindi? It's a difficult, yeah, please, sincerity.
Whatever is told to us, we should follow it.
How would you define sincerity?
प्रामाणिकता से sincerely
Means from the heart, like that. Honestly, from the heart. Say it again, the word.
प्रामाणिकता
Pramanikta. Now, okay, we can turn this into a Hindi lesson for Bhurijan. 2 words. Okay. But anyone, okay, no fighting amongst the devotees now. I say it means this. I say it means... Okay. What's the conclusion?
Niskapat is a correct word. Niskapat.
Not niskapat. Yeah. It's easy to define in the negative what it is not cheating. Another way, you could say sharal, also very simple-hearted, but it doesn't directly describe it. Okay, so please try to sincerely chant to please Krishna, niskapat, with sharal heart. And also with some humility, thinking, unless Krishna helps me, I won't be able to do this very well. Because my mind tends to wander so much. And then pray for help from Guru, Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Arigor, Bhaktavinda, from Radha Madan Mohan, from the holy Dhams. And then when you are ready and your mind is right, then begin to chant. Try your best. See if you can keep very focused. Mataji, yesterday you are very focused. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. If you can hear the first Hare Krishna and Hare Rama, it really helps. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Focus. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Try your best. Chant to please Krishna. Chant in such a way that Krishna will hear your chanting. Ram. Hare Rama, Hare Be determined to try your best. Try to be humble and pray for help. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare, you're very fortunate. Try your best. Good chanting. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Try your best. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hari, you're very fortunate. If you can hear each word, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Some very serious chanting. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. If you want to stand, maybe a little bit. Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare. If your mind wanders, don't worry. Just bring it back with the simple goal of hearing one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hari and Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Rama. Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama try your best. Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Rama Hare Krishna. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare and Hare Rama, you're very fortunate. Try your best. If your mind wanders, don't worry. Just bring it back to the simple goal of trying to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names by speaking and hearing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna. Focus. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Try your best. Keep trying. Just a few more minutes in this session. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Focus. Try your best. Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Try your best to focus. Hearing one mantra. Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You've given up. If you can hear one mantra, Ram, Hare Rama. Sometimes the mind says, enough. Enough. I'm not cooperating anymore. And just say, just one mantra. That's all I ask. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. How many of you got sleepy at one time or another during this? I did also. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And what did you do when you got sleepy? Huh? what did you do? What did you do? Yeah. And I was telling our Prabhu over here that sometimes the mind will say, enough. I've had enough cooperating. And then my suggestion when the mind does that, you say, okay. Just one mantra. If you could just hear one mantra, that's all I ask. I would like to read a little more of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yesterday, we read the first 3 verses of Shikshastakam. The first verse is why don't we say the first 3, everyone together? Chaito Darpanam. Anandam Purivardanam Pratipam Sadhanam Okay, say the 4th verse. Nadanam, nadanam, nasundari, kavitam bhajagati sakamani, mama dharmani dharmani sare, So, wait. You are also enthusiastic? But I wanted to just say a little about Nadanam Nasundarim, because after Trinadapi Sunichenor, after chanting humbly, without offenses, and being respectful for others, to others, and not demanding respect for oneself, then the next verse is Nadanam Nasundarim. What I don't want. Because as the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita explains, that, or Srila Prabhupada explains in one of his purports, early purports in that chapter, is that our situation in the material world, or for that matter, in the spiritual world, depends upon our desire. Just like the reflection of a tree on the bank of a reservoir of water, the reflection rests upon I hear everyone saying it, on the water. The reflection of the tree is on the water. Similarly, our situation, where is this wonderful garland from? Just like the reflection of the tree is situated on water, our situation in the material world or in the spiritual world is situated on our desire. Desire is so important. And along with desiring, it's important not to desire certain things as well. If you want to go forward very fast, you also have to desire not to go backwards. If you desire to go left, you have to desire not to go right. Now, is it better to go left or right? What's your answer to that? Yes. It depends on what? On your destination, on your goal. So it's very important to fix our goal in our mind, to know what the goal of our life is. Sometimes we know what the goal of our life should be, but it's not quite what the goal of our life is. But as I mentioned yesterday, we should make sure that the goal of our life, even if it has material elements, is bringing us. We should lead our life in such a way it doesn't lead us in the opposite direction, against the direction of going to Krishna. But what is pure devotional service? Anya bilasita sanyam, jnanakama anavrita anakulena Krishna nasilanam bhakti. So this is pure devotional service. And in this verse, next verse, the fourth verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us how to chant and what our desires should be. And that is to be engaged in pure devotional service, which means just acting for Krishna's pleasure. So he says, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Sundari, na dhanam means no, what I'm desiring, even though there may be some desire for wealth, okay. But that's not what the best part of me desires, the real part of me, the part that's most intelligent, the part that's focused on the service of Krishna. Nadanam, I do not desire wealth. This isn't what I want. Because I cannot take it with me when I leave this world. And how much happiness does wealth really buy? If you see the house of a very, 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 very wealthy person, from the outside it looks very different from my house. But inside, there's a kitchen, there's a bedroom, there's a bathroom, there's the same. What really is the best thing to want? And I should not, on the deepest level certainly, desire nadanam. I don't want wealth. Najanam. I don't want followers. Because this is a more subtle allurement of Maya. I want people to think that I'm wonderful. But the pure devotee, he's humble. He doesn't think of himself as humble. Excuse me. Of course, he doesn't think of himself as humble, but he doesn't think of himself as great and that worthy of people following him. He thinks of himself as a servant of Krishna. This is who I actually am. Nadanam, najanam. So there's a tendency for conditioned souls, and Srila Rupa Goswami hears this from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 19th chapter of Madhya Lila. He says this, Labha puja pratishtadi jata upasakagan. That these things, wanting followers, wanting labha, greed for things to come to me, puja, for people to worship me, pratishta, people to say, for me to move my position up. This is upasakagan. This is weeds that get in the way of the flourishing of the plant of our devotion. So here, this is a prayer, and that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes, and I'll explain a little bit about this later. I don't want materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruit of activities described in the flowery language of the Vedas. All I want, life after life, Janamani, Janamani Svare, is pure, unmotivated, devotional service. Ahaitaki means I'm not doing it to get anything from you. I'm not serving you like I serve the boss in my office so that I get something from him. I don't try to please you because I want my weekly paycheck. No, rather, I'm trying to please you by my chanting, by my deeds, by my words, just to please you. Not even to escape the terrible cycle of birth and death, which is very painful. I just want to please you. This is called Shuddha Bhakti. This is called Anyabhilasita Sanyam. And Srila Jiva Goswami says in Bhakti Sandarbha that if you want to get Prema Bhakti or Bhava Bhakti, it is the natural result, that is a natural result, first class bhakti, is a natural result of performing sadhana bhakti in a pure way. Anyabhilasita Sanyam. If one performs it purely just to please Krishna, not wanting the results of jnana or karma, etc., similar to what's being described here. One has to perform one's devotional service with the right intention, with the right desires, in the right mood, for the purpose of pleasing Krishna. And then the result comes of Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti. So here, after explaining, let me just back up a little bit and here in the 27th verse, Kahite kahite prabodha dainya badila, that Mahaprabhu is saying after speaking Trinadapi Sunichena, his humility increased. Speaking, understanding, as he's speaking Trinadapi Sunichena, his humility increased. And then what's the next step? And he began praying, Shuddha Bhakti. That means he's not considering himself pure, humbly, not considering himself fully sincere, but he's praying for the Lord's mercy, for Shuddha Bhakti. Krishna Tane Magite Lagila. Magite means he began to pray for. Literally, Magite means to beg. You beg for something that you don't have. And you really want it. You want something, you ask someone for it, but when you beg for something, the need is still greater. The need that I don't have it on the negative side, I don't have this thing, but I really strongly desiring it. Because everyone in this world is proud. No one likes to beg. When you go to the university, there's no course in begging 302, advanced begging. But yet, even though there's no course in it, when you get your degree, you have to go begging for a job. Please accept me, my dear boss. And it's one thing that's really interesting. If you have a boss, raise your hand if you have in your job have a boss. Yeah. Naturally, you want to please your boss. Naturally. It's natural to want to please one's superior. Of course, one knows one, and one devotee friend of mine, he works in the corporate world, and he told me, I have to make sure that I'm not too competent, because then my boss will see me as a threat to his position, and then he'll write a bad report on me, so I get fired. Does that sound like the corporate world to you? So you can't act competently. Either that, or you have to be so competent that you can knock him right over and take his position. It's a tough world like that. Very tough. But Mahaprabhu here, he, after speaking Trinadapi Sunicena, understanding his position in that sense, his humility increased, and he began praying, begging to Krishna that he could discharge pure devotional service. Premera swabhave, yahari premera sambandha, se mane Krishna more nahi prema ganda. Whenever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, when one really has love for Krishna, swabhav, the nature of prem, premera swabhav, is its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. Prema ganda, nahi prema ganda, not even the fragrance of prema. What to speak of the substance? Say, did I give this? I gave this example a few days ago. If this was filled with, instead of bisledi pani, instead if it had gulab jal, if it had rose water in it, then it would be filled with rose water. But if I spilled out the rose water, still the fragrance of rose water may be there. So, in Mahaprabhu's humility, he's thinking, nahi prema ganda. Not only don't I have prema, but the container of my consciousness doesn't even have the fragrance. It's never been visited by prema. This is the humility that causes one who desires something wonderful to become a beggar. I want this thing, but yet I don't even have the smallest trace of it. Not even the fragrance, nahi prema ganda. Whenever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, when one actually has, his natural symptom is that the devotee, he does not think himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. And then, because he wants this, one can't become a beggar unless one really wants something and doesn't consider that he has that thing. So the desire has to be very strong. Otherwise, we can say this nadanam nasundarim verse 1,000 times. But unless the desire, the true desire to love Krishna is there in the heart, it won't have the power of someone who really does have that desire. I need this. I pray for this. I beg for this. I examine my consciousness and I see so many desires that are pratikul or against the desire for pure devotional service, against the desire to please Krishna, against the desire to serve with great love and devotion. I have so many other desires that constantly attack my consciousness. And some of them are so powerful, they knock over every other desire and they demand. And that's why when the mind says, I refuse to cooperate anymore in chanting, we do have to learn how to control the mind and say, at least somehow or another, why don't you, I don't want too much, just one mantra, just hear one mantra, that's all. Or, no, you chant. Now, it depends. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mood was, you take that mind and you beat it with a broomstick 100 times and a shoe 100 times. And Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's mood in Manasiksha is a little different. My dear mind, please do not do this. Do not bathe in the donkey urine of inappropriate desires. So somehow or another, we have to deal with the mind and its desires and try to move those desires to the lotus feet of Krishna's service, to serving Krishna's lotus feet. So my dear Lord Krishna, I do not want O Lord of the universe, Jagadisha, Kamani, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruit of activities described in flowery language, Vedic. You do this and you'll get this wonderful thing. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you. My dear Lord Krishna, here is explanation of this verse in text 30. Dana jana nahi magori. Magori again means I'm not begging for this. I do not want this. I do not pray for this. I do not chant having this desire in my mind. Dana jana nahi magon kavita sundari means beautiful wife, or it could mean, kavita also means be able to write wonderful poetry, because this is very, very subtle pleasure. Subtle pleasure. I don't want these things. Shuddha bhakti deha. Give me pure devotional service. Deha more. Please give me this. Krishna kripa kori. By your mercy. O Lord, O Krishna. Prabhupada's translation. My dear Lord Krishna, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, beautiful wife, or the results of fruit of activities. I only pray that by your causeless mercy, because I'm not qualified. It's not like I can pay the price for mercy. I've not done anything good. But it's because of your nature of being kind. I'm requesting that nature to overtake your consciousness, your very soft, compassionate nature. That mood, please evoke that mood. And by your causeless mercy, give me pure devotional service to you, life after life. I want to love you. I want to serve you. And how you deal with me, that's up to you. I am your servant. When Prahlad Maharaj finished his prayers, Lord Nrsingadev said to him, he was so pleased with Prahlad because Prahlad was so innocent and just fixed upon him. So fixed on him, he was not even disturbed by the person who was supposed to be his protector. His own father was trying to kill him. Just imagine what a dangerous, disturbing condition Prahlad could have been, or I would have been. The one who was supposed to protect, and who was so powerful, he is the one trying to kill me. But through all that, Prahlad was just fixed and thinking about his wonderful Lord. And through all that most difficult circumstance, he was fearless and peaceful. So much so that his father said, where are you getting the power to not be afraid of me? Where are you getting this power? No one else in the universe has this. And Prahlad said, the source of my power is the same as the source of your power. It's Krishna. And I will ask a question, a true or false question. Do you think Hiranyakasipu responded to that by saying, oh, thank you so much, Prahlad. I really appreciated this. I really needed someone to tell me the truth and speak so that I surrender. Now I will surrender. I think you would all get 100% and understand no. And why didn't he? Because he was an asura. He had that mind. It was not changeable, same like Kamsa. When Kamsa heard the breaking of the bow, where Parsuram had predicted, he who breaks the bow will be the cause of your death, he heard that sound, the cracking sound, and it cracked his heart. But he still wouldn't surrender. If he would have at that time gone to Krishna and said, Krishna, I'm really sorry for having putting your parents in prison. I'm sorry for having killed all your brothers. Please forgive me. If he would have sincerely, Krishna would have forgiven him. But no. So, by your causeless mercy, because this is my deepest, fully sincere, niskapata itcha, desire. I only want your service, and I'll be able to tolerate everything if I can serve you with devotion. So Prahlad Maharaj, again, was asked, he pleased Lord Nrsimhadev so much by his pure, devotional, and very innocent attitude that Lord Nrsimhadev, when he appeared, he said to Prahlad, I will give you whatever you want. Whatever it is, you ask me, and I will give that to you. Whatever you want, I will fulfill that desire of yours, those desires. Now, Prahlad answered that by saying, please don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Don't put these kind of thoughts that I can have whatever I want in my mind. This is a very dangerous thing for me. It wasn't for Prahlad, but it would be for me. Because the mind, if it starts contemplating something, it will just want that. So Prahlad said, I am not a baniya. I'm not doing business with you. This is what he said. I'm serving you because this is my natural position to serve you. I don't want anything from you at all. So in this mood, Mahaprabhu was praying, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, beauty, the results of fruit of activities. I only pray that by your causeless mercy, I want you to bestow upon me the greatest gift, the truest, biggest, greatest thing of value, the only true wealth of this world. Give me pure devotional service to you, life after life. So therefore, Prahlad Maharaj, who is like this, he's a Mahajana who we follow. And Mahaprabhu was teaching us that we too should pray for pure devotional service. We too should pray for pure devotional service. And the next verse, Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram, which we won't really speak about, we'll stop here on the verses, just to bring out the point that our chanting is like a prayer. And we should be introspective enough, thoughtful enough to know and ask ourselves, well, what do I desire? Now we all know the right answer to that. Pure devotional service, birth after birth, joy. That's the right answer, but what's the private answer? All the things that... So we pray not to fulfill those other desires, because if we didn't have material desires, we wouldn't be in the material world. This is the land of prisoners. Every prisoner, you ask the prisoners, why are you here in jail? And they all say, the judge sent me here. Why are you here? The judge sent you here. I didn't do anything wrong. But the reality is the judge just awards our situation according to the law. And that's a service of Maya under the guidance of Paramatma. So we have our material desires, but it's not what we really want from our devotional service. Or at least we have to confront that point, that Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, Guru, Vaishnavas, they want something different for us. They want our heart consciousness to be full of a different quality of desire. The desire to be with Krishna, prema pramarto mahan, to serve Krishna in the spiritual world eternally. So it's a process to get there, and here's a very big step in that process. The process of praying to Krishna for pure devotional service. The next verse prays one step higher, chanting on the ecstatic level, the level of ecstasy. But we won't speak about that at this time. But that's Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam. Somehow I'm here. He didn't get into an argument about where the jiva came from or anything like that. Somehow I'm here. That we can all agree on. We are here. If you're not here, raise your hand. Where are you, Mataji? Yes, you're right. You're not here. You're very agreeable, though. Okay, before we chant more, are there any questions? Okay, raise your hand if you have a real question. A real question that's important for you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question like I chant my 16 round only with the intention of complete the rounds.
Yes.
And the respect towards the holy name is missing. Like it's just become a ritual that we take the beats and just complete our 16 rounds. Like even the respect is missing, the seva bhav is also missing. Yeah.
So now is the time for you to come to a higher level. Just you read. That's why we read the Shikshastakam, as Mahaprabhu said, because the first verse and the second verse, say the first verse, it tells us of what the holy names can actually give us, the potency of the holy names. Second verse also, that you can chant anywhere, anytime, and be with Krishna. The deities are so merciful, but sometimes the doors close and you can't see them. But there is nothing stopping you if you desire to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. So we hear this. And then we understand the reason that we don't have a taste is we commit offenses. Or we don't know the glories of the holy name, what the holy name can actually give us. And then understanding that we are ignorant, and even though we don't know, even if we do know, we still don't have a taste, then the next verse is Trinada Pisunichena, that we become humble. Someone says, here's, I will give you this, you'll be a crorepati. And you say, maybe later. Too busy now, or my mind's distracted, I'm a little sleepy. So then that means we don't realize the value, or we don't have the desire. So when we realize the capacity of the holy names and that we don't have the desire, we become humble. And then when we become humble, first we try to stop committing offenses, which cause the lack of taste and desire. But we become humble, and then when we're humble, we realize we don't have something, but we want it, then we pray and beg for that. So there's a process of advancing that the Shikshastakam explains, a process of improving our chanting. So first study Nam Tattva, the philosophy of the holy name, as described in the first 2 verses. And try your best to avoid the offenses. There's such a difference. So the first step is that once you hear about the holy names and the glories of the holy names, you want to chant in a way that puts you in contact with the holy names. So that's being present with the holy names by hearing. Is this answering your question? So do you know what a next step would, because you just very honestly and humbly expressed your condition, do you know what you could do to improve? I mean, don't say it, it's between you and Krishna. Do you know what to do to improve? So you try your best. Try your best to improve. Because otherwise, one can chant, and I know this very well, you can chant for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, just to move the beads. 60 years, this life, next life, until one feels dissatisfied with that and wants to develop love for Krishna. And then one can take a next step. So don't be discouraged, just try to move forward. Okay? Sorry. I don't know. Yes, we'll go by seniority and bright colors too.
Prabhu, somebody asked me that what is the meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I told him that what Prabhupada said, that "O Radharani, O Krishna, please engage me in your service." He told that, but mantra meaning is not coming. Exactly meaning. How can you say that?
And what's the question?
Question is this: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The literal meaning is not coming that, "O Radharani, O Krishna, please engage me in your service."
But it's a calling out. It's vocative, a calling out. Hare, O Lord, O energy of the Lord, O Krishna, O Srimati Radharani. When you call out name of someone, like, do you have a son?
No, I don't have.
You have a daughter?
No.
Do you have someone that you have great affection for?
Yeah.
And when you call out the name, are you just saying the name, or say if you want your wife to bring prasadam, you say, "Oh," and you say her name. But there's so much meaning in your calling out the name. Okay. So you know what that meaning is. Please bring me prasadam, or something like that. But yet, there are so many meanings for the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. See, Gopal Guru has written meanings of the mantra. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written meanings of the mantra. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has written meanings of the mantra. Srila Jiva Goswami has written the meaning of the mantra. And Srila Prabhupada has given us that simple meaning, but very, very deep meaning. And also, he also said it means, "O Lord, O energy of Lord, O Krishna, Radha, please accept me as your servant," or "Please accept me, please allow me to serve you." So it's not there literally in the names, because names are names. But it's there in the mood of calling out, "I want to serve you." So, one time, years ago, I was learning to do some puja. And I was interested in mantra, tantra, a little bit into, fancy to do it with, the proper everything. And I saw a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote one of his disciples who had asked him, what mantra do you say to put the deity to sleep? You want to guess what Prabhupada's reply was? No? No. So Prabhupada said, because Prabhupada had said in every deity room there should be a little bed, and at night time you should invite the deities to go to sleep. So Prabhupada answered, you should say, my dear Lord, please come take rest now. And when I read that, I was thinking, I want some mantra and tantra and, hand movements, and I was somewhat disappointed that Prabhupada has made it so simple for Westerners or something like that. But then, as I grew up a little bit in my Krishna consciousness, I understood that Prabhupada really gave the essence of the point. It's with devotion, out of affection for the Lord, it's now time for you to take rest. Please, my dear Lord, please now take rest. He gave actually the essence in a simple way, but he gave the essence, the sar, the cream, the real point. Because after you learn all the mantras and the tantras, you can still do it completely mechanically. But what Krishna is interested in, what controls him, is bhakti, devotion. So so that was a comment on the meaning of the mantra. It's a sincere calling out of the soul for Krishna's service. And there are other meanings too, wonderful meanings, deep meanings, intimate meanings. But this is the sar, the essence. After all, they're names. Any other questions? One and then two. And then if any of the Matatis have any questions.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, the mind is a transformation of egoism and mode of goodness. So the restlessness...
This is like Kapila Muni's teachings in the third canto.
Yeah, you also mentioned in Japa book. So the restlessness and turbulence which one experiences, is it because the mind is constantly influenced by mode of passion?
Yes.
Otherwise it is calm.
Except when it's influenced by the mode of ignorance.
Okay.
But we want to bring the mind to its natural state of goodness, sattva gun, and then sattvam sanjayate jnanam. Naturally, just by a peaceful mind allows you to understand naturally that you're consciousness. But that's not the goal. But yes, go ahead.
So this passion is like, so intelligence and mind, they like interact. So intelligence is influencing mind for all the passionate plans, but the different, the restlessness here, it goes always here and there. So it's a combination of intelligence and mode of passion which is creating the problem.
And intelligence is born of ahankara and the mode of passion. So basically it's the mode of passion, but the intelligence is the vehicle, the plan making. How many times during japa you're sitting and chanting and think, oh, now I have to do this and this is how I have to do it. And then you have to make a choice. Well, should I finish my japa and then do it? Or if one is in a passion, the mind is passionate enough, one will stop one's japa, pull out one's phone, and then... Has that ever happened to you? So that's the influence of the plan making of the intelligence, influenced by passion. And then the other one is chanting, and then when Tamagut comes. Now, if I did this for another minute, you'd all be asleep. In Sattva Gun, the consciousness is clear.
And when the mind becomes pure, then it stops doing this sankalpa, vikalpa, business acceptance and rejection, which is constantly it does. So when the mind is pure, then it will not do that way.
Not on the material level. It accepts Krishna. And it holds on tightly to Krishna's lotus feet. That's the pure mind. And that's the mind that's the best friend. Who knows the verse in the Bhagavad Gita? For one who has conquered his mind. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenat maivatnanajitaha. If the mind is under control, it means it's taking shelter of Krishna and holds tightly to that shelter. And then for such a person, the super soul is already reached. He'll be clear transmission from Krishna. He'll hear Krishna's desires. Yes. The microphone is coming.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So my question is like, one of a person asked me that you are the only one person in the family that you are chanting the Hare Krishna, and rest of them are not supporting. But at least like at end of the time they have taken the holy name of the Lord, and they have taken the holy name of the Lord and they are succeeded. But how about yourself? When you die, at that time you have a desire to say the holy name, but due to some condition you are unable to say it. So at that time, what you prefer? What is your priority? So what do you choose?
So if I understood what you're saying, some very chalu person was trying to explain to you it's better to not be a devotee and say, I don't chant Hare Krishna, because then I've said Hare Krishna, and then Sarva Papa Jai. But you're chanting Hare Krishna and you don't even know if you're going to attain your goal. So the person who doesn't chant but criticizes Hare Krishna is better than you. Is that something like what you're saying? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, means at least they chant. There are some jivas who tell the holy name at the end of their life because of their sukriti or something.
Oh yeah.
But they are comparing with the devotees who are they are saying that they are chanting, but at the end of the time they are unable to chant. Ultimately,
they just made up this circumstance.
Yes. So they are differentiating the non-devotee and the devotee.
Yeah.
So how should I need to answer them?
Ask him. He knows. So many people can answer that. First of all, they're just trying to be tricky. And where is the guarantee that a person, he's planning, I'm going to be non-devotional, non-spiritual, materialistic, think of so many things. And then at the end of my life, I'll just say Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. So they're very clever and trying to outwit Krishna. All right? So what should you tell such a person? How do you know? I mean, it's not like when you're dying. Has anyone been in the hospital and seen someone who's really close to leaving this world? I mean, it's not that they're sitting back and thinking, now it's near the time of my end of my life, so it's probably a good idea if I just chant Hare Krishna. I think I should do that. I mean, that's not what it's like. It's like, it's compared to being, have you ever been bitten by a scorpion, Vischik? Did you, at that time, you got bit by a snake, what was it like? No? What was it like? When I got the snake. And were you in a lot of pain? And was your mind thinking very clearly? No.
Just running about how to remove that poison.
Yeah, and your mind's not working properly because you're afraid you're going to die, and so much pain and your mind's not working properly. So you're not, so the death is compared to being bitten by 100 or 1,000 scorpions all at once, 1,000 snakes biting you, that kind of pain. And you're going to, with no habit of chanting when you're in difficulty, you're just going to automatically chant Krishna's names? Unlikely. You're going to take shelter of just what you've taken shelter of in your life. You're going to pull out your mobile phone and try to Google snake bite. And you won't be able to do that too, and then you won't have coverage. Oh no, I should have paid my extra to Airtel or something. No, they're just making excuse. And on the other side, they've lost the opportunity to please Krishna. Because it's so funny, a person like that, they're saying there's God, and I'll just chant his name, but they don't have any desire to please or serve him. So they're missing out on something wonderful. So many ways you can. If you really want to know, you just ask all the devotees one by one how they would deal with that. Such a person isn't very sincere, basically. Last question. Yes, Mataji. Are you here now? Very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the nice class. Prabhu, you were mentioning about Rupa Goswami's Anyabhalasha Shunyam. It's only, our goal should be only pleasing Krishna. We also hear from Queen Kunti's prayers and so many other references that pure devotional service is the goal. But I'm only speaking for myself when we're encountering difficult situations or like they keep coming again and again, but at times it looks as if solving the temporary problem seems to be the big thing. I'm unable to look at the big picture. So how do I process that and have the goal fixed?
Yeah, well, we should try to solve the temporary problems of life in such a way that you could say in sattva gun, basically, as much as we can, in such a way it doesn't interfere with our devotional service. We have to be practical. I once had, when I was in the university, I had a philosophy teacher who said, it's okay to have your head in the clouds as long as your feet are on the ground. So Prabhupada was so practical, but it was in Krishna's service. So you can also think, I have to deal with this problem so I can serve Krishna better, things like that. Like if you're sick, you're not well, it's practical to go to the doctor. What do you think? We try to solve the practical problems of life in such a way that they don't interfere with our Krishna consciousness. And sometimes we have to put our energy into that, and we can't maybe chant as much or read as much, but we have to do it. We have to live a balanced life in this way. But at the end, we should know that we can't keep a balanced life. We're going to have to hold on to Krishna at the time of death. And then we have to forget everything else, including family, including this, including that, and we just have to have the strength to take shelter of Krishna. So another point is that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would always say, if Krishna desires, I'll go here. If Krishna desires, I'll go there. So ultimately, it's Krishna who's in control, and it's important to acknowledge that. Prabhupada was very practical. When he had a heart attack in 1967, the doctor recommended he take morning walks. We do some exercise because he was too much sitting. That's what the doctor said. So he started taking morning walks. But he used, that's such a simple sattvic thing, and he used it in Krishna service. And there are so many recordings of wonderful conversations that Prabhupada had on his morning walks. Is that all right? Wisdom is to know how to apply the philosophy to practical life. That's the wise person knows that. Last question, even though I said that last time. Yes, because I want to, was a chant some more too. Do you have enough energy for more chanting? You think you can do it? You'll be able to deal with the mind? And there's someone who's very enthusiastic. So you can pray to Krishna to help you based on your desire. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam. So, what is the real austerity, Prabhu? What is the real austerity, Prabhu?
Real austerity or obstacle?
Austerity, Prabhu.
The real austerity?
Austerity, Prabhu.
What is the real one?
Yes, Prabhu.
The ultimate one?
Yes, Prabhu, the ultimate one.
Is to neglect the mind and turn to Krishna always and chant Krishna's names always. That's what I would immediately answer.
How can we perform it for Guru, Prabhu? Guru.
There's no Krishna. You think your Guru won't be pleased if you're always chanting Hare Krishna? This is the advice of Rupa Goswami and Upadeshamrita. It's the best advice. Prabhupada even told me one time, I actually had the fortune to sit next to Prabhupada on a plane going from Hong Kong to Japan. And before I got on the plane, a devotee said to me, gave me some good advice. When you're with Prabhupada, always chant. So while I was sitting next to Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I said every verse I knew. I sang every song I knew. I chanted and chanted and chanted until the person in the seat in front on the plane turned around and said, "Stop that chanting." And Prabhupada just smiled, and I chanted more softly so I could not disturb him. But then when we were leaving, Prabhupada turned to me and said, "You have a very good habit, this always chanting." And it was a very short habit, meaning that I would say that's the goal of my life. So that should be the goal of your life too, because it's that will please. Though Mahaprabhu said, "Kirtaniya Sadahari," and your Guru will be so pleased.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So your question was, what's the ultimate tapasya?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So it's putting it in the positive, to let go of Maya and to hold on tightly to the holy names of Krishna. And that's my thought. Kirtaniya Sadahari. We have to accept Krishna's shelter. Always. Easy to say, not so easy to do, unless one is very pure and sincere. Okay. But we should try our best and pray to Krishna to help us.
Hare Krishna.
Just like we will do now. We'll try our best and pray to Krishna to help us, knowing that we're tiny souls and we need help. Unless You think you don't need help? Nadanam, nadanam. Please accept me as your servant. Now, before you begin, I would suggest that you do the same thing you did when we first started chanting, is get your mind right. Let your mind know what you want to do. Use your intelligence, use your sincerity to decide how you would like to chant right now, and then try your best. Pray for help. Guru, Vaishnavas, Prabhupada, deities, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Tagore, Panchatattva. But first, decide how you would like to chant. Because often we'll just sort of wander into our japa session in a way that's not focused, and we don't chant in a focused way. So think about what you've heard and what you know, and how you'd like to chant, and then sort of make a vrata, and then take shelter and begin when you're ready. There are probably 2 people in this room who right would understand, you and me. Huh? By your mercy. But your mercy. But you were there. Okay. But now isn't the time to tell me. Listen. Now is the time for Japa. And after is the time for Prasadam. No need to tell me. You have something wonderful. It's a jewel. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Try your best. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, beginning with Hari and Hari Ram, you're so fortunate. Keep fixed in your intention, clear in your desire. And if your mind says, we did this already today, do we have to do it again? Say, my dear mind, just if you can hear one mantra, you're so fortunate. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Ram, 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 Hare Krishna. Please try your best. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, beginning with Hare, Hare Krishna, and then Hare Ram, if you can hear one mantra, you're so fortunate. Try your best. You have nothing to do now other than be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna. Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Rama, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Rama, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Rama, Rama, Krishna. Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is basically the end of our chanting session today. We hope that your chanting was of better quality than usual and that you can maintain it. Of course, the difficult thing is to maintain it, but if you keep the principles in mind and maybe chant with the devotees, it should be easier. Keep these simple principles that we spoke about in mind. Keep the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in mind from ISKCON. Chant Hare Krishna, be happy, and develop love for Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Harinam Prabhu ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktavinda ki jai. Nitya Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare Gaur. Yes, please.